Hey everyone, Jim here. Imagine stepping aboard humanity's first deep space exploration vehicle, the Magellan Class. This is exactly what the developers of Fleetyard Studios, an indie studio company, not a whole lot of information about there. What they've done is set up a procedurally generated one-to-one scale of the Milky Way galaxy. The game boasts that it will allow you to explore billions of stars and systems, each crafted using astrophysics principles. You'll be able to choose your role aboard the ship as a captain, a pilot, engineer, and even a morale officer. Very little other information's been given about as far as roles, multiplayer. Every system aboard the Magellan class is simulation in real time. That means from the reactor powering the ship, starting it up, and just conduct runnings throughout the decks. I'm going to take you through, and then this demo is available on Steam. I've had it on my wish list for about almost 2 years. So either they're part-time developing or this is just an incredible undertaking. They do have a Discord channel. I have not visited that yet, but let's take a look. And there's no missions. I mean, you can go in there in the demo, but what I found interesting, and this is the second demo that they've created, and what they've done, they've added engineering for the cold start, which was pretty freaking impressive. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You can do it on your own. I'll give you the link to the demo, but take a look at this. This is just phenomenal, and this is on the Unreal Engine. The version of Unreal was at the bottom there, and we'll be talking to an AI system.
Welcome to the Magellan Class Cold Start training module. My name is Ava. I'm the UN Space Fleet's AI voice assistant. In this module, we will review the correct procedure for starting up the ship's fusion reactor and then supplying power to the vessel. The ship is currently in a cold and dark state, so for your safety, I have taken the liberty of turning on your torch for you.
Where's your flashlight? I couldn't control the bobbing. That's something I'm sure they'll be working on later. I just want to show you some of the... I know it's kind of dark right now. And then we'll cut away and we'll go to a fully powered ship. I think it's in here. Yeah, I need to go down.
As you can see, the reactor is offline and none of the ship's systems are powered. Our first task is to provide power to the engineering decks, so let's make our way to the start capacitor's room. Follow the waypoints on your HUD to the startup distributor.
Whoop. Wrong turn. In here. You
As its name suggests, the startup distributor routes energy from the start capacitors to the engineering decks, and also provides the reactor with the power it needs to create the initial fusion reaction. You'll notice the device is already powered because the start capacitors are fully charged. Let's go ahead and get some lights on by connecting all of the breakers. Start with the G-deck breakers, as in... And now the F-deck breakers. And finally, the reactor supply itself. Excellent, now we can see what we're doing. You can go ahead and turn off your torch by pressing T. The reactor controls should now be online, so let's walk back to the reactor room and take a look.
We're just going to walk through a couple more steps here. It took me literally 20 minutes to power the ship up.
This console displays the reactor's vital information and provides you with full control over the reactor and its subsystems. On the left-hand side, we have the coolant section, which shows the liquid helium coolant flow and the condition of the magnetic field coils. On the right-hand side, we have the electrical section, which shows the reactor's main electrical bus, along with its input and output feeds. In the center, we have the reactor's main display, where we can control the fusion reaction itself. As you can see from all of these alarms, it would be impossible to initiate a stable fusion reaction under the current conditions, so let's fix that. The first thing we need to do is supply power to the reactor's internal bus. Great! Now that the reactor has power, we can activate the vacuum pump to start purging the confinement chamber. The chamber pressure should now be dropping. To sustain a fusion reaction, we need an internal pressure of less than 10 nanopascals. While we wait for the confinement chamber to reach its target pressure, let's take care of the reactor's fuel and coolant supplies. Exit the reactor room via the door behind you, and follow the waypoints on your HUD to the cryogen.
This is the last little piece I want to just show you, the reactor.
These storage tanks hold all of the cryogenic fluids that are used to both fuel and cool the reactor. All 4 tanks are currently empty, so our first task is to begin the filling process. Let's start with the helium coolant. Head behind the storage tanks to access the helium cryo cooler.
I don't know if this is too much detail for the average gamer or just what hardcore techno geeks like me.
The cryo coolers use a process called magnetic refrigeration to convert gas into a cryogenic fluid before pumping it into the connected storage tank. Start up the helium cryo cooler now by using the indicated control on its user interface. Excellent. Now if you turn around, you'll find the helium refill valve located on the back wall. These valves control the flow of gases harvested by the ship's gas collection hardware, which is located on the underside of the forward hull. Go ahead and open the helium supply valve now to begin supplying the cryo cooler with helium gas.
So I am using the right mouse button to zoom in just so I can see a little bit better, but that's not the game doing that. You can do that with any control panel.
If you turn around again and inspect the display screen connected to the helium tank, you should be able to confirm that the tank is now filling with fluid. We now need to perform the same sequence of events for the other 3 tanks. Helium-3 is the first of 2 fuels used in the fusion reaction. As before, power up the device using its user interface.
I can see the fill level. What'd she say to do? Highlight, but oh, it's highlighted.
And now open the helium-3 refill valve behind you to start filling its associated tank.
Behind me.
Next, we need to start filling the 2 deuterium tanks, so let's head over to the other side of the room.
Okay, so this literally goes on for a good 15-20 minutes. I can just imagine as a single, if you tried to memorize it, it's crazy. It's like you're going to need a manual in front of you. Let me pause. I'm going to load up the other tutorial to show you this, the deck after the power up. Okay, so back at the main menu, we're going to go to bridge scanning. Of course, it's going to load the ship. That is the ship, by the way, down there. Looks like something out of the new Star Trek Next Generation.
Welcome to the Magellan Class Scanning and Navigation Training module. My name is Ava. I'm the UN Space Fleet's AI voice assistant. In this module, we will review the correct procedure for identifying targets of interest, and then navigating the ship to the desired location. To begin, proceed to the ship's bridge. I have placed some waypoints on your HUD to help you find your way.
I like the different chair panels. You got red alert. I could see this deck just being fully manned with the crew. I have no idea what they have planned. Yeah, I got ahead of the waypoints.
Welcome to the bridge. This is the ship's nerve center, where you have command and control over any ship system. Right now we're interested in the sensors, so make your way over to that console and take a seat. This station is responsible for scanning space around the ship and highlighting any targets of interest for the command staff. Before we perform any scans, however, let's take a look at the different sensor modes available to us. The Galactic Position mode makes use of the standard UN Galactic Positioning System and simply shows us our location relative to the Milky Way galaxy. The Stellar Region mode employs the long-range sensors to detect information about star systems within a 50 light-year radius of the ship. The Star System mode uses the short-range sensors to provide a more detailed overview of the star system we are currently in, with a maximum range of about 1 light-year. Go ahead and press that button now. The range controls allow you to fine-tune the display range of the sensors, which makes it easier to focus on particular objects of interest, or to gain a high-level overview of the current star system. The central panel lists all of the valid objects in range, which you can click on to select as a target. Go ahead and click a few different targets now.
Go to Mars.
You'll notice that the Target Information panel displays more detailed information about your selected target. Once you are happy with your selection, press the Send to Helm button to make the target coordinates available to the Helm console for navigation. Now head over to the Helm console and take a seat. From here, we will navigate the ship to your chosen target.
Pretty cool. I didn't notice that before. This halo or holograph. Anyway.
Let's begin by taking a quick look at the various screens available to the helm. The left-hand display is dedicated to navigation and shows both the ship's current galactic position along with its target destination coordinates. The central display deals with the flight controls themselves, including the FTL system, sublight engines, and reaction control thrusters. The right-hand screen features the autopilot controls, toggles for the 3D target indicators, and the ship's navigation lights. Okay, let's retrieve the target information from the sensors by pressing. Your target coordinates should now be displayed in this box, which represents your current nav target. The galactic coordinates represent the target's position in the galaxy to the nearest whole light year. The coordinates are relative to the center of our galaxy, the supermassive black hole known as Sagittarius A star. The local coordinates represent the target's position within a star system. The coordinates are relative to the system's center of gravity, which is usually a star, or the barycenter in multi-star systems. While it is possible to fly the ship manually to any location in the galaxy, the ship will now automatically turn to face the current nav target, but you will need to manually engage the FTL system in order for us to get underway. You can now engage the FTL system when you are ready.
Just so you know, if you hit the C key, you can get different views, including the outside of the ship.
While the autopilot is engaged, I will manage the ship's speed and final approach to the target coordinates, so just sit back and enjoy the ride. The FTL system works by compressing space ahead of the ship and then expanding it behind, creating a bubble of warped space with the ship at its center. The compressed space amplifies the ship's current velocity by a factor of the FTL field strength, so the ship's sublight engines are still used to provide the required thrust. The maximum speed of the ship is therefore a combination of the FTL field strength and the thrust output of the sublight engines. For the Magellan Class, this is approximately 300 light-years per hour. Okay, it looks like we have arrived at the target coordinates. Now that we've seen what the ship can do over a relatively short distance, let's pick a target that's much further away. Head on over to the sensors console again and take a seat. This time we're going to use the long-range sensors. Go ahead and press the Stellar Region. As before, you can use the display range buttons to increase or reduce the number of displayed objects, depending on your needs. If you click between a few of the objects in range, you'll notice that none of them have any detailed information yet. This is because a sensor scan is required. Let's take a closer look at our nearest neighbor. Click on Alpha Centauri and then click the Scan Target button. You'll notice that the Target Information panel now gives us a high-level overview of the targeted system, including important data points such as the extent of the habitable zone. This information can be used to determine if a star system is worth closer inspection. For example, if a planet exists in the habitable zone, you'll need to use the short-range sensors from within the system itself to determine if that planet can truly support life. Select one of the planets in the system that you'd like to take a closer look at. Now return to the helm console and take a seat once again.
All right, we're not going to do that. I hadn't thought about this game, and like I said, since I put it on a wish list, I don't even know how I found it. And I've been following it, and it looks like in January they uploaded a second demo of version 2, and they added all this. So definitely getting a better feel of what the developers had planned for this. I'd just been playing Star Trek online, and I mean, I play a lot of science fiction or, sci-fi games. Not so much the fighter shooter ones, but more of the ship management. There's been a few titles out there that focus on the management and exploration and collecting resources and things like that in space. But not that the fighting's not fun. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, I'm going to post a link in the description, and it'll be to the Steam page for this game. No, like I said, no idea when it's coming out. You can see there's been comments in the discussion. They do have a Discord channel. I'm pretty sure you can get a lot more details and information about that. Just make sure that the team's still alive and working on this, but it appears they are, because they just updated this year. So hopefully this was bring something to your attention in this genre. Again, I don't know how deep and detailed this could be. Hopefully they don't overcomplicate the control systems, but enough detail to satisfy even the science, what I call them, the science gurus, that obviously the developers I assume they've researched a lot of that stuff. I don't know. I don't make nuclear reactors, so that's not my specialty. But thank you for watching. Let me know what you think and any comments or feedback. And then if you're interested and excited about this title, you too can sit and wait and wonder, like I am. All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. As always, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.